for Winthrop as she did, I would have worn a nun's habit. As it was, I wore pants and a turtleneck sweater in the most serious shade of gray I could find. In my experience, acquired since my husband died, a single woman dealing with her stockbroker, insurance agent, or estate lawyer seemed to be asking for attention of a too personal variety. Showing up at their offices was apparently some kind of invitation, and Winthrop was the worst of the lot. The odious man had offered to see me through my grief by scratching any itch I might have. I had no itch, especially not around Winthrop, who'd lost most of his hair and carried an extra 50 pounds around his middle. Also, he had thick lips. Blech! A small shudder shook my shoulders just thinking about those lips. One of these days, soon, I'd make finding a new broker a priority. I'd have done it before, but for all his faults, Winthrop was good at his job. The portfolio flourished in both bull and bear markets. I could put up with a leer or two and a few sleazy come-ons for a 15% return. "I'm sorry Mr. Marshall is late, Mrs. Russell." Debbie offered me a smile so apologetic it bordered on worried. "It's not like him. He must be stuck in traffic." It was 9:30. Any rush-hour traffic had long since dispersed. She pulled out a key, unlocked the door to Winthrop's office, and asked, "Would you care for coffee?" Did the wind blow in Kansas? "I'd love some, thank you." "How do you take it?" "With cream." She reached inside the door, flipped a light switch, and said, "I'll be back in just a moment. Please, make yourself comfortable." "Thank you." I walked into Winthrop's tastefully decorated corner office alone. Except I wasn't alone. Winthrop sat behind the desk, leaning back in his chair as if he were looking for stock prices on the ceiling. He'd rolled up his sleeves to his elbows, and he'd loosened his tie. Winthrop Marshall was the very picture of a man hard at work, one who'd taken a quick break to consider some new angle. But Winthrop wasn't working. Or considering. "Winthrop?" I needn't have bothered. His skin was gray, and there was a rusty blossom on his white shirt. He'd been dead for a while. Still, I walked toward him. "Winthrop?" I stepped behind the desk and froze. There are things once seen that cannot be unseen. My hands flew to my eyes, covering them. My hands were too late. The image of bald, overweight, thick-lipped Winthrop Marshall, dead in his desk chair with his boxers and pants pulled down to his skinny ankles, was seared into my brain for all time. I backed away, and the heel of my shoe caught on the carpet. I fell, putting me at eye level with Winthrop's. "Oh, dear Lord." I scooted, crab-walked away. "Mrs. Russell?" Debbie stood in the door. She held a mug emblazoned with the brokerage logo. Thank God. I needed a coffee. Her gaze found me in my spot on the carpet, then traveled to Winthrop. She dropped the mug. Damn it. My coffee stained the rug. Debbie grabbed the doorframe. What happened? Did you kill him?" "Me? Kill Winthrop?" I dragged myself off the floor. "Heavens, no, he's been dead for hours. Probably. Dead? Why was she yammering about death after asking me if I'd killed him? Dead as a doornail? Well, not the most empathetic response, but I had just been confronted with Winthrop's placid. I couldn't go there. Plus, she'd asked if I committed murder and dropped my coffee. "We need to lock this room and call the police." "The police?" "I know a homicide detective. Take me to a phone and I'll call him." Debbie, looking decidedly green, staggered to a desk just outside Winthrop's office. Its surface held a phone, typewriter, steno pad, ashtray, cup of steaming coffee, and photograph.